Really proud of our group's mentality heading into this game. On coming off the heels of beating Ohio State on Thursday. I think a lot of people are saying, this could be a trap game. Are they going to have a letdown? It's a noon game. Students aren't here. I told our guys, listen, we have to be a mature team. We had a good challenge, obviously, with Norfolk State, who's coming off an NCAA tournament appearance last year. They have a winning culture. Coach Jones does a great job. They play really hard. They're tough, competitive. And I thought it all started with Paul Scruggs, with his leadership. Just in the locker room, even right after the Ohio State game, just having an understanding, listen, this is going to be a quick turnaround. We're not really going to be able to do a whole lot on Friday. We just kind of watched film of us versus Ohio State, watched personnel versus Norfolk State. But just the vibe within our group was really, really good. It made me have a really good feeling, and it started with Paul. Tonight, I thought our ball moved extremely well. Norfolk State's known for changing their defenses constantly. They're going to zone press. They're going to man press. They're going to go back zone 3-2 zone. Then they're going to go 2-3. Then they're going to go man. They do a little bit of everything. And I told our guys going into the game, listen, it doesn't matter what they're in. We just need to move the ball, drive it, post it, and then make the right plays. Because I felt like against Ohio State, that was the one area where I wasn't as pleased with our performance. I didn't think we always made the right plays off the bounce. I thought we forced some things around the rim. I thought tonight, though, that the ball was just, we kept it hot, we kept it moving, found the open man. That's why we shot, I think we made 14 threes, 14 to 31, I believe. But again, it's funny that Kunkel, right, he makes 8 threes tonight, but I thought he was a big catalyst. He would pass up a good shot, try to find somebody else a better shot, then he'd end up getting it back. And that happened a lot throughout tonight, whether it was Nate, whether it was Adam, whether it was Jerome, whether it was Paul, DeJuan, Colby, all those guys did a tremendous job of moving the ball. Thought the one area where two areas where we got to get better. We didn't shoot our free throws well tonight, and that's got to be a heck of a lot better. And then especially when you're going to be in close games and to be able to close games. And then we got to take care of the ball better. But I thought our effort was there defensively in the first half. We really set the tone. Our ball screen defense was tremendous. We made them take contested jump shots after contested jump shots. Just really proud of our defense. But we're going to move forward here. Obviously, we got a big challenge in Brooklyn. We're going there to win it. In order to win it, we got to take care of the first game.
Coach, it seems like one thing that really stood out today was like you guys were able to take the success that you had against Ohio State and sort of carry that over to the next game. And that's something that you've talked about a lot over the last few years is, can you do it from game to game? Why do you think that was the case today, and how nice is it to see that little bit of progression? I know it's only the 4th game of the year.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to Paul Scruggs. I think just his will to win, Adam, just permeates throughout the rest of our team. Just his prep. We got mature guys in there, Kunkel, Jack, Colby, Nate. So we usually have shoot around right before usually 5 hours before the game. But obviously with a noon tip, we never have shoot around. We're not gonna have shoot around at 7 a.m. Sleep's too important. All the studies will show that. But we did have guys in here at 8 a.m. getting shots up before our 8:30. We kind of walked through just a couple things for Norfolk State just as a reminder before we had breakfast. And you had guys like Kunkel and Jack and Colby and Paul, all these guys getting shots on their own. Wasn't mandatory. Just kind of shows you, I think, that we have a mature group right now, and it starts with Paul.
They obviously didn't shoot well from the outside in general, but defensively, what was so good about your performance today? Because they shot about 14% and didn't get a 3 until the final 10 minutes.
Yeah, I thought we made them take a lot of contested shots. They didn't get many open ones. Because I think that's at the end of the day, again, it's simple to say, it's easy to say this, but are they taking contested shots or are they getting open shots? Right? Now, there's a lot that goes into that. Did you get an open shot due to ball screen defense, transition defense, or is it guarding the ball? Off screens, right? There's a lot of different things that kind of go into it, but I thought our ball screen defense was really, really, really good. Deontay, Jack Nunji, those guys' size around the rim, Rick, we were keeping those guys in the paint. We weren't hedging as much, and I thought that really bothered Norfolk State, that and the switching, right? We were switching 1 through 4, so they weren't really getting their pick and pop shooters loose like they did against Bowling Green or against William and Mary and those other schools. So I thought our ball screen defense was really good. I thought we were tight off the ball, which was good to see because we weren't as tight off the ball against Ohio State as we probably need to be.
It seems like you guys have stuck pretty much to the drop coverages with the 5 since the second half of that Kent State game. I mean, do you feel like that just keeps you tighter with all the length you have this year, or what kind of prompted the switch and why have you stuck with it?
Yeah, I think, and what do you mean by that drop coverage is keeping our big, our 5-man, keeping him back in the paint. I think it's been good. It's been a great look. Deontay's gotten way better at it. Jack is a natural at it. Just he's 6'11". He's so big and long. Keeping those guys around the rim to impact a lot of shots. Now, there's going to be games where we need what we call our red coverage, which is hard hedging, right? The ball screen. Different games are going to call for different things. So we have that in our package, but the drop coverage has obviously been really, really good for us, keeping our defense nice and tight.
Coach, you've had to answer a lot of questions about poor shooting out of the gate and to start. And I thought, what a difference it makes when shots are falling, you win games like you did today. But is it not that I know that you want to make shots out there, but the fact that you've been able to win those first 3 games without necessarily shooting your best, that's got to be a pretty good feeling for you going forward.
Yeah, defense and rebounding travel. It's like we've obviously been playing here in Centos, but it doesn't matter whether you're on the road, neutral site, what time the game is, who you're playing. If you can guard and rebound, you're always going to give yourself a chance to win. So, obviously today we made shots, but I am going to go back to, again, the good shooting teams are the good passing teams. When the ball moves, when you look at all of our passes today, most of them were on time and on target. There weren't a lot of forced plays, right? And I felt like there were a little bit more against Niagara, against Kent, and against Ohio State. And if we drive to have the idea of like, listen, I'm going to do what the game tells me to do. If a guy helps, and I'm going to kick it out, and I'm going to pass it on time and on target. Don't pass the ball up high, down low by my shoes, right? Put it right in my pocket. It's amazing how those percentages really, really skyrocket.
Travis, I was wondering if you can kind of speak. I know we've talked a lot about you guys being locked in and just your effort from game to game today, but this whole week with your 2 games here, you guys have not given up the lead at all. What does that show you for your team, especially going into the preseason nights here in Brooklyn?
Yeah, it's Kent State we got down, right? I think Niagara we got up, and then they came storming back. We played with the lead for the most part. Ohio State went on a run kind of around that 10-minute mark there in the second half. Then we led kind of wire to wire, both in Ohio State, but we took their punch, though, kind of later on in the game. Tonight we led from wire to wire against Norfolk. It's good we've had different experiences, right? You got to learn how to play with a lead because you don't want to get too passive, right? You want to stay aggressive, but you also want to use the clock. And then you have to figure out ways to there's going to be a lot of games where there's going to be some games, unfortunately, where we're playing from behind, right? And I think, again, getting our guys all those experiences this early has been really, really good for us.
Coach, Ben Stanley played his first meaningful minutes this season. What did you see that you liked from him today, and what do you think he can add to this team going forward?
Yeah, Ben was available tonight, which was great. He hasn't played the first 2 games here just because he felt like he wasn't ready to play just with his knee. Obviously he got injured last season against St. John's and been rehabbing. He's been practicing. Man, he's an absolute warrior. Has kind of been working through that process, even though he's not 100%. I think Ben's a guy that can bring some physicality, some toughness, energy, obviously scoring. He's wired to score, but he rebounds the ball. I think he had 5 rebounds tonight, 5 points. I think he gives us a jolt that we really need.
And how is it, you got 12 guys that played today. Is that going to be something that these guys continuously fight for as far as playing time?
Yeah, I would say that, again, all the playing time is always going to be earned in practice through our Xavier way and defensive grading. I always say I'm going to play the guys that are productive and guys that I can trust, that I know what they're going to do out there on the floor. Obviously, today we were up a little bit more, so everybody played, but it's not always going to be that way. I think it's hard to play. To get any rhythm, it's hard to play, 11, 10 guys. I mean, you're probably playing 8, 9 guys max.
Any update on Colby? Is he all right?
Yeah, Colby's fine. I just didn't put him back in, Andy, just because we were up. He hit his head, his face, not his head. He's fine.